We should be coming up now on the time for the crews to say their final farewells to each other before the 6 crew members close hatches between their 2 vehicles, the space station and the Soyuz TMA-08M. It's actually scheduled to take place just a couple minutes from now.
Настройка ратом из -2. На связи. Гош, ну мы практически, можно сказать, готовы. Сейчас мы здесь проведем нашу эту пресс-конференцию. И начинаем работать, да? Закрываем люки и поехали.
Павел Владимирович, я вас понял, все верно.
Федь, спасибо, мы едем. Павел Владимирович, тоже вижу.
Хорошо.
Паш, как и говорил, удачной посадки.
Удачной. Хорошо, мягкой.
Да, и
Parting crew moving into view here. Chris Cassidy there on the left side of your screen. Of course, the NASA astronaut. It's part of the crew returning home tonight. And then with him, Commander Pavel Vinogradov and Flight Engineer Alexander Misurkin on the far right-hand side, just floating out of view.
That's why we call it Mother Earth.
Мы готовы начать.
We are ready to start.
Да, Федор здесь, он же у нас Спилберг, он здесь руководит камерой налево, прозрачно направо и так далее. Вы нас хотите всех вместе видеть, да? Вы кто? Да? Нет, мы лучше вот здесь попрощаемся.
No, we're gonna say farewell right here.
Again, seeing some final farewells between the Expedition 36 crew members planning to leave the space station and return to Earth tonight. Getting some hugs and handshakes from the crew they'll be leaving behind, which will become Expedition 37 when they undock. Commander Pavel Vinogradov there in the center of the screen waving, and on either side of him, Chris Cassidy on the left and Alexander Misurkin on the right.
Да, начинаем закрывать люки.
Okay, we're gonna start closing hatches now.
And the crew all moving now into their into their Soyuz TMA-08M, so that the crew left behind can close the hatches between them and the International Space Station and prepare for the undocking of that vehicle in just a few hours at 6:35 p.m. Central Time.
All is well. Hold on just a second. I'll move around here.
Хорошо.
Let me make it closer.
Все, подхожу, Паш. Давай.
All right, I'm moving in.
Давай, ты закроешь и
All right.
постучи.
Will you close? Close and tap.
Soon to be official Expedition 37 commander here, Pavel, Fyodor Yurchikhin, working to close the hatch here on the International Space Station side of the two hatches, while the crew in the Soyuz works the same on their side.
Паша, люки закрыты.
Pasha, hatches are closed.
Okay, we're receiving the image, so the SSVP mode is complete.
Team here on the ground confirming that the Soyuz has undocked, and you can see here in the view being sent down from the Soyuz via Russian ground stations. It's moving away now from the International Space Station, and that occurred on time at 6:35 p.m. Central Time.
Pavel, what about the headlight? Is it on? No, not yet. Could you please activate the headlight? Okay. Yes, you can switch, turn on the headlight. We can see you clearly.
Soyuz TMA-08M carrying Expedition 36 Commander Pavel Vinogradov and flight engineers Alexander Misurkin and Chris Cassidy has undocked from the International Space Station. That took place as scheduled at 6:35 p.m. Central Time, when the station and Soyuz are about 258 miles above Mongolia. And as you can see, it's now slowly making its way back away from the International Space Station in preparation for the separation burn that will speed that that move up a bit.
Yes.
That wraps up a 166-day stay aboard the International Space Station for that crew. They launched to the space station on March 28th and arrived that same day, making the first one-day journey
Fedya, can you see
to the space station for any crew. And with that undocking, it now officially marks the beginning of Expedition 37 for the crew members left on board the space station.
That's good.
Their commanders now Fyodor Yurchikhin,
450250.
and along with him, flight engineers Luca Parmitano and Karen Nyberg.
We are standing by for the depot activation. We have activation. We're observing. Now
and the team here on the ground also now confirming that the separation burn is in progress.
So the deactivation of depot, we are observing.
And that 15-second burn now complete.
Wide angle lens.
The 15 seconds that the Soyuz jets fire ease it further away from the International Space Station at a rate of just over a mile per hour. It begins by moving it zenith and then aft the space station. This again should put them a safe distance away from the station in time for the deorbit burn that will drop the Soyuz back into the Earth's atmosphere at 9:05 p.m. Central Time and put them on a return course for Kazakhstan just before 10 p.m. Central Time.
Yes, it's beautiful. And it flies beautifully. Okay, so the inhibit of the dynamic operations has been sent via the command radio link. Yes, we're observing that. Very beautiful image we are getting, very good quality. Because we were wiping everything, you know, all axles. So should we deactivate the 4, Georgi? No, not yet. Leave it as it is. Okay.
In just a moment, the Soyuz is scheduled to be directly below the International Space Station between it and the Earth. And then it's going to begin phasing out below and in front of the space station as it continues moving further away in preparation for its deorbit burn.
Go ahead, Karate speaking.
And as you can see, Soyuz TMA-08M has now landed. Was at 10:58 p.m. Central Time.
Экипаж МКС СОП Москвы.
Station Moscow. On space to ground 1. Rafael, go ahead, please.
Good evening to our listening and viewing audience around the world. I don't know if you've had live TV from the landing site yet. You'll probably be getting that shortly. Soyuz Commander Pavel Vinogradov, the oldest human ever to land in a Soyuz vehicle at the age of 60, is sitting very comfortably in one of the 3 reclining chairs just outside of the Soyuz spacecraft, which landed on its side on this still and sunny Wednesday morning on the southern steppe of Kazakhstan. The Energia technicians and the search and recovery forces who arrived within literally seconds of the touchdown of the Soyuz TMA-08M spacecraft are in the process of extracting Chris Cassidy and Alexander Misurkin as well. They will be placed in those reclining chairs flanking Pavel Vinogradov just a few minutes from now. We'll stay on with you through the extraction of the crew, and then after a few minutes to get their land legs, as it were, they'll be hoisted on those reclining chairs and brought into a nearby inflatable medical tent to begin some unique pilot field tests, as they are called. These are tests that are designed to add to a database for not only the one-year crew, Scott Kelly and Mikhail Kornienko, when they return from their year-long sojourn on board the International Space Station in March of 2016, but also for interplanetary travel as well. These tests will include Cassidy and Misurkin, who will be attended by NASA and Institute of Biomedical Problems personnel, taking data on their ability to, unassisted, move to a standing position from a sitting position, then from a prone position to a standing position, and then a heel-to-toe walk on an unassisted basis.
And Rob, just so you know, we are seeing live video now, and I can tell that Cassidy as well as Vinogradov are both out of the capsule. It looks like everything's going pretty smoothly.
Indeed, absolutely smoothly and very efficiently. So the final member of the Expedition 36 crew is now being gently pulled out of the top hatch of the Soyuz spacecraft, which again landed on its side here on the steppe of Kazakhstan. And Misurkin is now out of the Soyuz, and he'll be placed in his his reclining seat, his comfortable pseudo chaise lounge, if you will, and have an opportunity to get his land legs for a few minutes. He, again, one of the two subjects of these unique pilot field tests that will be conducted inside the medical tent in the minutes ahead. Once in the medical tent, they'll be assisted in the removal of their Sokol launch and entry suits before they undergo the first initial battery of normal, regular, standard biomedical tests, and then onto the pilot field test that we discussed a few minutes ago, the 3 sets of tests that will begin to acquire data. These are tests that are expected to be conducted after every landing on at least the U.S. crew member and one of the Russian crew members that will fly on any respective Soyuz vehicle to gather data that will be valuable initially when Scott Kelly and Mikhail Kornienko return from the International Space Station in March of 2016 after 1 year in space.
Of all 3 crew members now safely out of the Soyuz capsule, the TMA-08M, which landed right on time at 9:58 p.m. Central Time, or 8:58 a.m. Kazakhstan time.
Hold it.
And the crew members now being carried to a medical tent to undergo not only the normal medical tests that all crew members go through after returning from space, but also some additional tests that are going to help us build a baseline of data on crew members returning from extended stays in space.